Welcome back to Wisdom to Wealth, the podcast where retirees and business owners turn to for clarity, strategy, and real financial wisdom. I'm your host, Dr. Drew Stevens, and today we're diving into something that rattles even the savviest investors. The retirement questions you're too afraid to ask and the ones most financial advisors don't want to answer. That's right. We're pulling back the curtain on hidden pitfalls, false assumptions, and overlooked risks that could derail your retirement if you're not paying attention. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe, rate and review the show, and hey, if you know someone in their 50s and 60s quietly stressing about retirement, text them this episode right now. Don't let them face the unknown alone. And now a quick word before we get started from some of our sponsor advocates. I want to put you on a game-changing book by my good friend Harsh Gill, How to Own Your Own Home Sooner and Retire Debt-Free. If you've ever felt stuck, wondering why you still owe so much debt on your mortgage after all of these years, this book is your wake-up call. Harsh cuts through the noise and gives you real, actionable plans to break free from retirement debt and finally get ahead financially. Do yourself a favor. Grab a copy at Amazon or your local bookstore and shift your mindset. Take back control of your financial future, and you'll be happy, and you'll thank me later. Suppose you're serious about keeping more of your hard-earned retirement savings. In that case, you'll need to hear this. The Roth Accelerator is a smart, strategic move inside our Flex Method framework that helps you lock in today's historically low rates. By accelerating Roth conversions, you can save thousands, tens of thousands in taxes, reduce financial futures with RMDs, and build a tax-free income stream for life. This is how the smart money plans work ahead. Want control, flexibility, and more tax-free income? Let's talk about how the Roth Accelerator can work for you. At Wisdom to Wealth, we believe the best things in life are meant to be shared. That's why we've created the Wisdom to Wealth Platinum Club, a private referral community for our most valued clients. As a member, you'll enjoy VIP experiences, early access to exclusive events, and best of all, you'll get to extend the gift of retirement confidence to your friends, family, and loved ones. Peace of mind is powerful. Let's share it. When it comes to protecting your legacy, estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for the wise. That's why I recommend Trust and Will, a modern, affordable way to create legally binding wills and trusts from the comfort of your own home. Whether you're securing your children's future or keeping your family out of probate court, this is a smart, simple, and step forward toward a peace of mind. Visit www.wisdomtowealth.com/estate and take control of your legacy today. Let me tell you a quick story. 2 years ago, a client, let's call her Linda, came into my office. A vibrant 62-year-old woman. She had dreams of traveling, volunteering, and maybe even starting a small baking business from home. Her late husband had handled the finances, and she assumed they were in good shape. Then came the rude awakening. Between unexpected taxes on her Social Security, rising Medicare premiums, a 401k heavily weighted in tech stocks, and the brutal drop in bond values, her dream retirement turned into a tight budget survival plan. She had saved her entire life, and still she felt broke. And here's the thing. Linda did everything she thought was right. So why do people like Linda, smart, responsible, good savers, still get blindsided by retirement? Because they never get answers to the right questions. Here is some of those questions. How much do I really need to retire? Well, according to a recent Northwestern Mutual study, Americans believe they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. Yet, average retirement savings for people 55 to 64 is just about $408,000. If you do the math, that's a $1 million shortfall, and over 45% of baby boomers admit they haven't done any formal retirement income planning at all. Most people use a mental shortcut. If I save enough, I'll be fine. But don't retire on assets. You retire on income. $1 million may sound like a lot, but a 4% withdrawal rate, well, that's about $40,000 a year before taxes. Barely enough to cover the median household expenses for retirees, which in 2023 hit $52,141. If you're pulling $60,000 a year from $1 million portfolio in a volatile market, you're gambling, not planning. You may as well go to Vegas and waste the money there. And remember, inflation quietly erodes the real value of your savings every single year. $1 today has the purchasing power of 83 cents compared to what it used to in 2014. I get this question all of the time. When should I take Social Security? Half of Americans, I want to say that again, half of Americans claim Social Security before their full retirement age, often out of fear that the system's going to run out. But here's what they miss. Delaying Social Security from 62 to 70 increases your benefit by roughly 8% per year, which means a potential 76% boost in lifetime income. Social Security is like an annuity, and if you wait from your full retirement age up until 70, you're getting 8% per year for what's known as a delayed retirement credit. You can't get those kinds of returns that are guaranteed in the market. So as an example, I recently had a couple in my office, both with 66. The husband wanted to claim right away. After running the numbers, we found that if he just waited 4 years, they would receive an additional $142,000 in cumulative lifetime benefits. Yet 60% of retirees regret claiming early. Why? Because they didn't know the long-term trade-off. And once you file, you can't go back. Social Security is complex. Spousal benefits, survivor benefits, taxation. It's not something that you do on your own or with a YouTube video. And if your financial advisor is not having the discussion with you, what I find is that they lack the competence to have that conversation because they are not knowledgeable in Social Security. If they are knowledgeable in it, then they're not doing it because they're not compensated for it. And if you have a financial advisor that's not having these discussions because they're not compensated, that's a conflict of interest. They're there for you, not for them. Another question I get is, what happens if I outlive my money? I had a 65-year-old couple that today had a 50% chance that one spouse is going to live past 90 and a 25% chance that one of them will live past 95. Most retirement plans still use a 20 to 25-year time horizon. That's a dangerous oversight. I had a client, Jim, who retired at 65 with $500,000. Plan looked good on paper, but 3 things happened. His wife was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Inflation rose faster than planned. His investment mix was too aggressive, and 2022 wiped out over 18%. By 83, his portfolio was down to $37,000, and he was relying on family for medical expenses. Longevity just isn't about living longer. It's about making your money last longer. If your plan doesn't factor in healthcare inflation, long-term care, and spousal survivorship, folks, it's not a plan. It's really just a placeholder. A question I often get is, should I be worried about taxes in retirement? Now, I want to give you a straight answer on this. I want to be transparent with you. I want to be brutally honest. Held to the yes, you should be worried about taxes in retirement. Most retirees mistakenly assume their taxes are going to be lower. I actually had a financial advisor tell a potential client the other day that taxes are going to be lower. Well, in Trump's big, beautiful bill, it's to maintain where we are. It's not to lower them. And by the way, that same big, beautiful bill has an offset in it that those that are high net worth individuals might be paying more in taxes. So I don't know what solar system this financial advisor was on. And for the rest of you that don't think that taxes are going to go up, think again. Because here's the trap. If most of your savings are in pre-tax accounts like 401ks, 403bs, or a traditional IRA, every dollar you withdraw is taxable income. Add in Social Security, add in a pension you may have gotten, an RMD and even capital gains, and suddenly you're in a high tax bracket than you expected. And with U.S. debt over $37 trillion, the CBO projects tax rates may have to rise. We have a deficit that just in December of last year was at $1.9 trillion. It's now at $2.2. Taxes are going higher, folks. They're not getting lower. 70% of retirees will pay taxes in retirement than they did while working. One of my clients had a $2 million 401k on paper. They felt wealthy. But when we modeled withdrawals, taxes, and Medicare surcharges, the real net income was 40% lower than they expected. Smart retirees explore Roth conversions, QCDs, tax-free life insurance income, and strategic withdrawal sequencing, ideally years before RMDs kick in. I've got a woman right now that is with a very prominent financial institution, let's say, and they're just sitting on her assets. She's got $2.8 million sitting in investment accounts. She is 65. She's going to have to take RMDs at 74. I don't know what taxes are going to be at 74, so why don't we take the taxes out now? Because they don't want to take away from their commissionable income on the investment account. There, I said it. Can I trust the market for income? Remember the answer to the question I had before about taxes? Hell no, you can't trust the market. I've been doing this for 43 years. The market really doesn't give a damn about your retirement date. It doesn't know that you just retired. It really doesn't care about guaranteed income for you, and it certainly doesn't guarantee growth when you need the income the most. It's what's called sequence of returns risk, and sequence of returns risk becomes lethal. Two retirees with identical portfolios and identical average returns can end up with very different results, all based on the order in which those returns happen. If the market happens to crash early in your retirement while you're withdrawing money, you lock in those losses, even if the market recovers later. Your portfolio may not. This happened in 2008. The S&P dropped 37%. Many people panicked. They sold off, and they have since not recovered. Many people believe that they have really a nest egg, and what I find is that they've got a carton of eggs. So what I suggest is that they separate their assets into three buckets. It's what's known as the bucket strategy. Bucket number one, a liquidity bucket for 0 to 12 months out. Cash, money markets, and what I call H2, health and home, emergency reserves just in case you need it. Bucket number two, 1 to 5 years, which includes bonds and annuities, which gives you some income-driven tools. As you come out of your salary, this can provide you the income you need later on in retirement. And finally, a later bucket, which is 5 or even 10 years hence, and that's for stocks, it's for ETFs, it's long-term growth, and that's what you're going to use in your later retirement years. The bucket strategy provides liquidity, income, and growth without relying on hope. You've spent decades working, saving, and sacrificing. Now, it's time to get clear, certain, and confident. Retirement isn't just about numbers. It's about protecting your freedom, your health, and your legacy. If your current advisor hasn't answered these questions at all, or worse, hasn't even raised them, it's time to find someone who will. You need me, because you don't get a second shot at retirement. And hoping it just works out, that's not a plan, man. That's just a gamble. If this episode really made you think, if you felt even a twinge of, wait, that might be me, let's talk. Visit www.wisdomtowealth.com to download my free Retirement Clarity Kit and schedule a 15-minute clarity call with me personally. No sales, no obligation, no pressure, just answers. And if you love this episode or knew someone who really needs to hear it, please subscribe. Rate and review the show on Apple or Spotify or your local podcast wherever you're listening to it. Share it with 3 people who want to retire smarter, not just older. Because when you elevate your wisdom, you elevate your wealth. Until next time, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Wisdom to Wealth. I'll see you soon.